Give your honey a big hug. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, when my husband walks in the door, I go to the door just like I did 30 years ago when we first met, and I hug him and I give him a kiss. I let him know that I care about him and that I'm welcoming him home from his day at work. You know, so many people, after they've been married a while or in a friendship a while or, you know, with a coworker a while, they just neglect the niceties of life. And so, you know, with my friends, I always say, hey, it's great to talk to you. It's great to hear from you, even if I just talked to them the day before. And, you know, so many people, they just don't give the people that they should the kind of attention that they should. They give strangers a lot of attention, but they don't give people that really are closest to them the kind of undivided attention for the moment that they should give them. So when my husband walks in the door, I go, oh, honey, hello, hello. And I give him a big hug. And when my kids come home, I say, hey, it's great to see you home. And I tell them, and then when they go to leave, I say, I love you so much. You know, and I tell my husband, he brings me my cup of coffee and in the morning before he leaves and tells me he loves me, and I tell him I love him. So goodbyes and hellos and goodbyes, you know, are not just reserved for people that we just know a little bit. They're reserved also for people that we know a lot, that we love a lot. So, you know, I always say, give your honey a big hug and a big kiss when he comes through the door or she comes through the door. Let them know you care. Don't ignore them. Some people just sit there and they're looking down at the computer and say, hey, hi. You know, that's no way to greet your spouse. That's no way to greet your kids. That's no way to greet your mom and dad. You know, look up from that computer, look up from that television, get up and give them a hug. If your mom and dad walk in the room, say, hey, mom, hey, dad, it's great to see you. If your brother or sister walk in the room, hey, sis, hey, brother, it's great to see you. You know, let people know that they matter by taking a moment out to tell them that they matter. Okay? From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. And I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel here as well. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. Keep a great attitude. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I'm in at college right now, and I'm getting ready to go into class. And I wanted to share with you, keep a great attitude. You know, I hear so many people go, oh, I don't know how things are going to be. Keep a positive attitude about who you are. When you're around people that are speaking negative, I believe in speaking positive. A lot of negative people don't want to hear positive stuff because, well, that means that they may have to do some work to create their best life. And a lot of people don't want to do the work. They want to be lazy. It's a lot easier to be lazy than it is to do a lot of work and to create your best life. So, you know, most of the time I just kind of walk away or I change the subject or whatever. And I keep it positive. I keep my attitude positive. And even when other people are not, I stay positive. It's very, very important to guard our own attitude, to make sure that other people do not affect our attitude in a negative way. And so if I detect that someone's got a negative attitude about them, I kind of back up a bit because I don't want that rubbing off on me. I want to keep my positive attitude. I want to keep my can-do spirit. So I'm very selective about the people that I let get up close and personal with me for any period of time, because I want people that are can-do spirits that can rub off on me in a very, very positive way, and so that I can rub off on them in a very, very positive way. Better get into class now. Hope to talk to you all soon. May God bless you, and I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. Saying hello in passing. Why are you so afraid of saying hello? Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, it's amazing to me how many people are afraid of extending themselves in a safe environment, in a safe situation, to say hello to other people. You know, when I pass by people on the running trail, and I'm out running every day for 5 miles, 2.5 miles out, 2.5 miles in, I often pass people. And even if it's at a little bit of a distance, I will say, hey, hi, how are you today? And I would say 9 out of 10 people respond back with a hello and a hi, how are you? And maybe now and then someone doesn't respond back. Perhaps they're distracted, or perhaps they're just unfriendly, or perhaps they don't want to say hello to me. But whatever the case is, I don't let that one person stop me from connecting with all the right people. And you never know, in passing, sometimes I end up stopping and talking a little longer to someone. And that's often how friendships are in the beginning stages are developed, with a hello. You know, we're never probably going to meet anybody if we don't extend ourselves in some way. And often just simply saying hello is a way to extend ourselves and to connect with other people. If for no other reason, it's a confidence builder. A lot of people, I think, are distracted and their mind is somewhere else. And so they just kind of ignore people. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want to put forth the energy. Some people are just not friendly. Maybe a few people are shy. You know, it could be for any reason people don't, say hello to other people. But I make it a point when I'm going through the neighborhoods or past the golf courses or on the trail to say hi to people. Even though I know it's in passing, I likely won't see them again, but it does me good to say hello to other people. It shows to me that I am confident enough to extend myself, whether I look great that day or whether I don't look so great that day. I think a lot of times people don't feel like they're at their best, and so they don't want to connect with other people. But you know what? We only get that one chance in most cases to connect with that particular person, even if it's just a fleeting hello. So I like to say hello to other people in passing. So don't be afraid in the right situations to say hello to other people. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I'll talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. You don't have to be at your best to give it your best. You don't have to be at your best to show up. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I got to thinking today about you don't have to be your best to show up. Just show up and do your best. You know, so often people shy away from situations that could be very, very good for them because, well, they don't feel good enough that day, or they don't feel like they're at their best and they want to be at their best. Sometimes being at our best is not necessary. Sometimes just showing up and doing our best at the time is all that it takes. You know, sometimes I do live streams, and I have to tell you, my lighting is not good in the kitchen. This area, it's okay, but in the other area where I do my live streams, because it's hardwired and I need to do it there, the lighting kind of comes in at you, and it doesn't look good. And yet, I get on there anyhow. I just show up. Whether I look my best or I don't look my best, it doesn't matter. I show up. So often we hold back in life. We just hold back because, well, we think, oh, there'll be a better day, or, you know, maybe I need to go feel better, look better, be better, whatever. Granted, there are sometimes that there are days that are better than others, and we have to kind of discern, should we put off something until a better day, or should we show up anyhow? And, you know, most often I show up anyhow, whether I look my best, am my best, or just doing my best. Sometimes we just have to do our best, even though we are not at our best. Some days I'll go on live stream and I'll say, I don't know. I don't have the kind of energy that I need for a live stream. And yet I go on anyhow. I show up and do my best. And so I believe that in life, we don't always have to be at our best to do our best. And so sometimes we just need to get up, get out there, and get going and give it our best that we have at the time, even if we don't feel that we are at our best. That is my dishwasher going. We just finished early dinner, and so my dishwasher's going. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless you. Just give it your best. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. You don't have to be liked by everyone, just the right people. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. I'm a firm believer that we don't have to be liked by everyone. Not everyone is going to like us. Not everyone is going to see things the way we see it. And that's okay. I just kind of move on from people like that. I realize there's going to be a whole world of people out there that are going to love and embrace me and like me as I am. And yet, if I have to completely rearrange who I am to fit someone else's agenda, I'm likely not going to do that. And often I believe that they wouldn't like me anyhow because I wouldn't be authentic. I believe that none of us are going to be liked by everyone, but it's important for me to be liked by the right people in my life, my family and my closest of friends, and hopefully they do like me, and hopefully they do approve of me, and which I think they do. And so, but I realize when I step out into the world, I'm not going to connect with everyone. I'm going to connect with some people. There's one lady a while back that I met, and we just didn't connect. I was really nice to her, and when I do see her, I say hi, how are you, and all that good stuff. But I know that she, for whatever her reason, we just don't connect with each other. Maybe we're very, very different personalities. I don't know. And then there's other people that I just connect with. I just feel an instant bond, an instant connection with at varying levels. And so remember, we're not going to connect with everyone, and that's okay. And some people just strive to connect with everyone. They strive to be approved by everyone. They strive to please everyone. And I don't do that. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous day out here. So I will talk to you then. Bye-bye. Prayer is powerful. Keep on praying. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking about the subject that prayer is powerful. I pray every day in my life. Sometimes I'll be driving along and I'll just talk to God and I'll just pray. And it can be about anything. It can be being thankful, and that's more a praise and gratitude, or it can be a request, or it can just be conversation. I believe that prayer is conversation with God. And, I believe that when we pray, it links us to a power that is greater than us. And when we link up with a power greater than us, that is the time in life that we can see miracles. We can see things that can happen in life that, we would have never seen otherwise. I remember the time that I wanted to go to nursing school. I was 19 years old, and I just had moved to California. And I wasn't old enough to get a waitress job in most places because most places served alcohol. And at that time, you had to be 21. And I didn't have the money really to go to college. A lady had suggested that I go to nursing school. Well, she actually suggested I go to nurse's aid school, but I ended up in nursing school. And long story short, I went and I took all these testings and everything, but I didn't go back because I knew that I couldn't afford it. So before I went out to look for a job one day, and I think I went to Newport Beach in my little car. No, actually, I think I drove my mom's car at that time, and I had a little banged up blue car. At the time, it cost us $450, a little blue Mazda, 1971, and that was painted over from being red, and so the red showed through the blue. So anyhow, I went out looking for a job, and before that, I said, God, if you want me to go to nursing school, please make it happen. I'm turning it over to you, but I can do no more. I've done the very best I can, and I don't see this door opening on my own. And I remember where I sat in the bedroom floor, on the bedroom floor in my apartment. And so anyhow, I went off and I looked for a job that day. My mom was visiting me. And when I came back, my mom was all excited. She said, guess what? The nursing school called. And I said, well, the nursing school called. And I said, well, what did they call about? They said they want you to come to nursing school. And I said, Mom, I can't afford that. We can't afford that. And she said, yes, but they said they're going to pay for it. They're going to put you on this program that will pay your living expenses and pay you to go to nursing school and pay for your books, your nursing, everything. Well, lo and behold, I went to nursing school on that. It wasn't a scholarship, but it was like a scholarship. And I went to nursing school on that. But it all started when I sat down and I prayed about it. And that was a miracle. My life forever changed because it pointed me in a new direction. And so I believe in the power of prayer. I have prayed so many times. There's been times that I said, God, I don't understand. I've done everything right and it's not happening. It's not happening. You know, I remember one time in my life, and it was probably my biggest blessing ever in my life. I didn't understand, and I was so upset. And I said, God, I'm just so upset. I'm so upset. I prayed and prayed and prayed, and nothing has happened. I don't understand this. You know, it turned out to be about a month or two later, the biggest blessing happened because of that delay. The biggest blessing I may have had in my life happened due to that delay. God's timing for that prayer was different than my timing. So I believe in the power of prayer. And so I believe in keep on praying. From my house to yours, I hope you subscribe, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Rock on, keep your focus, rise above it, and when you feel misunderstood, rock on. Rock on, keep your focus, rise above it, and when you feel misunderstood. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I just got in from the gym, and I did a full hour of cardio workout, and it was pretty intensive, and I feel great, but I'm dirty and sweaty. I'm going to go take a bubble bath, make dinner, put dinner on the table. We eat late because I have 3 young adults, young adult college student kids, my kids, and they don't get home till later. And then I have a husband who gets home late, and then I get home late. So dinner is late at our house. And then I'm going to be studying until about 4 a.m. with my college courses, which has tons and tons of homework. So make sure to start leaving me some comments around midnight so that I can stay awake. Okay, nice comments though. Anyhow, I came on here to talk about keep your focus and rock on. You know, so many people start the year off right, and they've got all this focus and this energy towards their goals, and then somewhere along the line they lose it. They just drop it like a ball, and their focus is gone. They're distracted. Other things has come about, and life does happen, and we do have to tend to other things sometimes, but it's important to get back to our focus on what's really important, whether it's a dream, a goal, a vision, or solving a problem, whatever it happens to be. Keep your focus and keep your laser focus on what's right for your life so that you can achieve the results that you want. Get back on if you've kind of lost your focus. Broken focus, it leads to failure, and laser focus often leads to success. okay? And rise above your current situation if you're not happy in your current situation, or even if you're happy but you want to do better. Rise above it by doing something each and every 365 days a year in this year with a leap year, 366, and do something every single day, laser focus wise, that will get you to where you want. You know, I'm back in college and I have really hard courses and I have to laser focus, and I give that my focus so that I can make it through and achieve and hopefully come out with really great grades. So laser focus, rise above whatever situation you're in, keep your faith, get back out there, put your energy towards the direction you want. Don't give up because you get stuck and then possibly regress, and that's not necessarily good. Remember, all of these are my opinions on how I see life, my perspective on how I live life. I never give suggestions and I never give advice. This is just my perception on how I see life and how I live life. Third of all, when you feel misunderstood, you know, we all can feel misunderstood from time to time. All of us. I have, probably you have. So what do? Sometimes we can get other people to understand what it is that they're misunderstanding about us, or a choice that we've made, or a decision. Sometimes we can't. And when we can't, we just have to rise above it, get back to our focus, and keep on going. Sometimes we can't change other people's perception of who we are, or what we're doing, or what we're about. And the other day I was on a live, and I was talking about my going back to school, and someone thought I was like a teenager, and so they said, oh, we got to boot you off because you're too young to be on the page. And I said, no, I'm 62 years old, you know. And so there was a misunderstanding, a miscommunication, and that was so easily straightened up. But sometimes real life is not that easy, and so we have to remember, sometimes we just have to push on, move on, and wish the people the very, very best if they don't want to understand us in the correct way. And we're not always probably going to be completely understood by all people. Some people may have a misperception, and that is life. And so remember, keep your focus, rise above it, and just keep on pressing on. Rock on. Well, I've got to go take my bath and then come back and make dinner, and we're going to sit down as a family and you know, just have family time. And then I got to get focused. I got to get laser focused on my schoolwork. So leave me some comments to keep me awake tonight, because I'm going to be up late with my books. And so I wish you all a wonderful evening and a wonderful week, and make sure to subscribe to my channel here, and God bless you. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. From my house to your house. God bless you, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. The spirit of hardness. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and we are having another wonderful day. It's a little bit gray and chilly, but it's a great day to go for my 5-mile run. And so I wanted to come on here today and talk about the spirit of hardness. You know, I believe that there is a spirit of hardness. People who are just hardened. Their attitude, their perspective, everything about them is hardened. It's kind of their protective shell, I think. But some people's protective shell is so deep that it's very, very hard to get to anything soft within them. I tend not to hang around hardened people because I like to be a soft person. That doesn't mean by being soft that I make myself vulnerable to everything. I don't. I'm very cautious and very cognizant of the world about me. And yet, I choose to be loving, I choose to be kind, I choose to be thoughtful, I choose to be nice, and I choose to think the best about people without denying the reality of who they are if they're negative. And so, I think that some people are so hardened that all they can see in life is the negative. All they can see is the negative in other people. They will not see the good in another person, no matter how apparent that good is. They will not see the good in a situation, no matter how good it is. They're focused on seeking out the negative. They're hard. They're naysayers. They're pessimists. They are not usually very happy people. And they're just guarding themselves, because I believe to be successful in life, we have to be soft. We have to be soft in order to find love, because love is soft. Love is kind. Love is not hard. Now, that doesn't mean when we're loving and we're a loving person that we accept bad behavior, or that we put ourselves in negative situations, or that we're not realistic, because I'm very, very cognizant, as I said, about the world about me. I'm very cognizant about people's faults, their flaws, their challenges, their difficulties, and even their nastiness. And so I avoid that aspect to the best of my ability. And yet I preserve and protect that part of me that's kind and soft and thoughtful and loving. I protect it. I guard it, because I want to be able to extend that to the right people in life. I probably do not extend all of that to everyone, because some people don't deserve that around me. And yet that's my protective part of me. But the people that deserve it, I show the love and the kindness and the softness and the thoughtfulness about, from who I am to who they are. And so people that are hardened cannot do that. They're unable to do it in the right time. So if they're in a loving relationship, or if they've met someone who's loving, they're unable to show that part of them. I remember many years ago, I dated a guy, this is way before my husband, and I really, really liked him a lot. But he was a hardened spirit. He only saw the negative in other people, and he didn't trust people. And I was a trustworthy person. And even though he had good reason to not maybe trust some people, there were other people that were trustworthy, and he carried that over to the trustworthy people, and that affected his good relationships adversely. So I think it's very important to differentiate relationships and to be able to be loving and kind to the people that truly are loving and kind in our lives, so that we can have wonderful, amazing relationships. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Being kind. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and we are having this gorgeous day out here. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to do a few things around here in the house. I already did my 5-mile run. And maybe my kids and I, my young adult kids who go to college, maybe we'll go bowling, or I'll just go directly to the gym. Not sure yet. But I got to thinking about kindness. You know, kindness is what people are going to remember about you. But they're also going to remember if you were unkind. That will stand out so much. And often we remember an unkind comment even over a kind comment. And for me, I want to be remembered as being kind and thoughtful. I don't want to ever be remembered the other way. And so many people are remembered for being unkind. You know, I believe that kindness makes a person so very, very attractive. You know, my husband's kind, my kids are kind, and I'm kind. And I think that's what sets us apart. That's what makes us so attractive in many ways, is our kindness. People think it's all about outer beauty, but I've met some people who looked fantastic on the outside, but were not nice on the inside. And they did have great struggles in their relationships, and some of them didn't have any meaningful relationships, because it's the kindness that is our glue that bonds us to other people. It's the kindness that brings us together with other people. That's what's really, really important, is being kind and thoughtful and caring and loving, especially to the right people in our lives. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless you. And I'm just loving this absolutely beautiful, beautiful day out here on Grandma's porch. Love you all much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Don't act like an expert at something that you know nothing about. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I'm amazed at how many people want to pretend like they know it all. And you can bring up a subject about anything, and they'll act like they know everything about it. I believe that smart people, wise people, will share with you and say, hey, I don't know that answer. I don't know anything about that, or I know a limited amount about that. I may discuss it with you. I may talk it over with you, but I'm not an expert in that area, and I'm not going to act like I know it all. Whereas some people act like they know it all. If I don't know something, I say, hey, I have limited knowledge or no knowledge about this, but I'm going to try to find out from reliable sources, reliable information for you. Faulty information is what often creates wrong choices and wrong decisions and leads to wrong directions. And so when I'm getting information, I make sure that my information is absolutely 100% accurate before I act on it. I hope so. And then before I give out information, I make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'll say, I don't know what I'm talking about. And for me, you know, I go to somebody who is an expert in that area. We're not experts at everything. We don't know everything about everything. I don't know how to change a tire on a car. So I would go to somebody who knew how to change a tire on the car. I wouldn't pretend like I know what I'm doing. And so it's very, very important that we understand our own limitations, we understand what we are experts in, and we make sure that what we are conveying is 100% accurate. You know, I don't give suggestions, I don't give advice, I just share with you how I live my life. Everything I talk about is how I see life, how I see the world, how I see relationships, how I see jobs, how I see being 62 years old. You know, someone else may see being 62 years old very differently than my perception of it. That's their wisdom, that's their perspective, and I have my perspective. It doesn't make theirs wrong or mine wrong, or theirs right or mine right. It just means it's my perspective. So I'm very, very careful about the information that I get, of the resources that I use, and I'm very careful of people who act like experts in areas that they know nothing about. The best way to handle a subject that you know nothing about is simply say, I know nothing about it, but I will try to help you find someone who does. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Live stream from the laundry room. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I am trying to test out my camera in the laundry room. I am in the laundry room. Well, I was talking earlier about where can I do my live streams at night if I come on later in the evening, because, you know, I have a family. I have 3 young adult kids and a husband, and my house is chaotic. All good, but it's chaotic, and they don't necessarily want to be in my live streams with mom. And so here I am in my laundry room, and I'm going to show you that it's actually really a laundry room. It's a messy one right now because I've been doing laundry. And yes, see, I'm in the laundry room. Yes, I have all my paintings in here because, you know, I have paintings all over the house. So should I come live from the laundry room? Maybe I could be folding laundry as I do my lives. You know, I've just started on YouTube about, about less than 2 months ago, publicly. Now, I've had a YouTube channel for about 10 years, but I never promoted it. It was just for family and friends. And then about 2 months ago, I came on, built, you know, so many amazing friends and met so many new amazing people. And so I started doing lives on and off about 2 weeks ago. And you know, I don't want to inconvenience my family to do them. They don't mind, but I really need someplace that's kind of quiet. So I thought, well, why not the laundry room? Well, let's go back out into my messy kitchen because I'm making dinner now. And so I thought, yeah, you know, I could do the laundry room, or I could do, actually I have a sunroom in my bedroom, and I thought, well, I could do it in there, and maybe I'll try it in there as well. Now I have my school office in there. When I say school, it's my school work office because I went back to college at age 62. And to have quiet and focus time, I go into the sunroom next to my bedroom and I do my homework late at night. And then, I have my regular computer in my office here at home, and then of course here in the kitchen. And so anyhow, but I thought, where can I do a live? And I thought, you know what? No one comes in the laundry room because no one wants to fold laundry. Okay, so that's one place I could probably be pretty good at doing my lives. So I could do my lives in the kitchen, but then everybody is, the phone rings and all kinds of things like that. So so I'm not really sure whether I will. I forgot to take the phone off the hook. So I'm not sure whether I should do them in the laundry room or I should do them in my sunroom or just wing it and keep doing it in the kitchen. I don't know. I love doing live streaming because it connects me in real time with all of you. Even though my videos, I put them up as soon as I make them. I like the real interaction, back and forth. And, the thing about doing live streaming is it's not scripted, you're winging it, you don't know who's going to say what, and if you're going to have a troll jump on, or, what, you have no idea. Whereas these 5-minute recording videos, which I love, are fun, and, they're real subject oriented. Normally I pick a subject, I talk about it, and so it's a little more scripted, even though it's not really scripted because I don't read from a script, I just wing it. So anyhow, I got to finish making dinner, but actually my husband and I are going out. So we're going to make dinner for the family, and then he and I go out on date night. And then I'm probably going to do a live stream at some point late tonight. So I'm going to try to do a live streaming at night. The lighting is usually not good, and but I can still do it. So thank you all. And I have to figure out where I'm going to do my live streams from. Should I do it from the laundry room? From my house to yours? May God bless you. And I hope to talk to you soon again. Ma says, don't spoil a lazy person, spoil someone who's deserving of it. Grandma says, quit spoiling a lazy person. Spoil someone who's deserving of it. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. Grandma had so much common horse sense, as they called it. And so many people today just don't use common sense. And that's what I love most of all about Grandma. She had such practical wisdom. And so I remember sitting out on Grandma's porch one day, and we were talking about a distant relative who was very, very lazy. And she said, they just need to quit spoiling them, and they need to pull in the rug so that they will start to do their own work. And Grandma believed that when you spoil somebody who's not deserving of it, they will become lazy. She said, you spoil people who are deserving of it. We can meet people on the job that say, oh, would you please help me? I'm overloaded with my work. And then they end up going out to lunch with their best friend while you are stuck in the office doing all their work plus your work, and you can't get out for lunch. So those are the kind of people we're talking about. I'm not talking about people who are truly in need of help and that would would normally do it on their own. I love to help people, and I love to spoil the people that are deserving of it, and I love to lift a hand to people that are deserving of it. But lazy people, I don't really like to step in and help them at all, because once you do that, often that lazy person will expect it and will dump more and more and more on another person. And often when that other person quits doing it for them, they get mad. They're not grateful, they get mad. But somebody who's deserving of it will always have the attitude of gratitude and say, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it, even after you've stopped the giving. But ungrateful people who are lazy, they get mad at you. I remember that very same person one time, I was doing something really nice for them, and they said, oh, I'll do this for you and I'll do that for you. It was just something real minor, real simple. And so when I happened to be back in town, I said, hey, by the way, can you do, I was just kind of testing the waters. And I said, can you do what you said you were going to do? You know what? They never, ever showed back up the whole time I was there. So I remember that because, well, they were a person that didn't honor their promises. But lazy people often don't honor their promises. They make a lot of promises that usually they don't keep. And so that's why Grandma says, pull in the rug on people, which basically means quit the spoiling of them, quit supporting their bad, lazy habits, and let them support them their own selves. Some people just don't want to do the work, and so they'll find people around them that they can get to do the work. And then when the people catch on and they no longer want to do the work for them, then that lazy person gets mad at them and talks bad about them. That's usually how lazy people work. And Grandma, well, she just said, let the lazy person do their own work. Grandma was so full of wisdom. Well, from my beautiful porch, from Grandma's porch to yours, may God bless you, and I'll talk to y'all soon again. Bye-bye. You can learn the smart way, or you can learn the stupid way. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. When I jump on these lives here, sometimes my lighting is so off. Sometimes I'll look like I have spots on my face that I don't really have, but it's just the reflection. Someone asked me one day, they said, oh, you've got a nose piercing. I said, I don't have a nose piercing, but I have like a little slight dent on the side of my nose, if you look, and I've had it my whole life, and so sometimes the light will reflect and it looks like I have a nose piercing, which I don't. That's the fun of doing live videos. Anyhow, I got to thinking about you can learn the smart way or the stupid way. I believe in learning through mentors and informed people and wise people, learning through other people's mistakes, and learning from the right sources, the right information, and making right decisions. Often foolish people just make haphazard decisions, spontaneous decisions, and reckless decisions, and then they want other people to clean up their mess. And so I believe that smart people learn the smart way. They learn through other people, whether it's other people's mistakes or other people's mentorship, the right mentorship. Not everyone is qualified to mentor us. And even though someone may love you and care about you, they may not be qualified to mentor you in a specific area, but they do love you. So remember that and keep that in mind. And so I make sure I'm being mentored by the right people in the right direction that I want to go in. And I also listen to correction, not criticism. Criticism is done to diminish you, and it's usually done in front of other people to put you down, and correction is done to lift you up, and it's usually done privately by the right people. And I don't necessarily always accept the correction that's given to me, but I do embrace it and thank the person for giving it to me when it's done with good intent. And we can save a lot of mistakes. We will likely make mistakes on our journey of success in any area of life, and yet we can minimize those mistakes by having great mentorship and surrounding ourselves with the right corrective people. Now, foolish people don't do that. They just get out there and they know it all, and they think they know it all, and they make haphazard decisions, and their lives are like train wrecks. They just make a mess of their lives. And then they come and say, hey, would you help clean it up, or would you clean it up? Actually, if you start helping them clean it up, you end up doing all the work, and they just sit back and let you clean it up. So I don't do that. I don't step into people who purposefully mess up their lives through poor choices, and they will not listen to wisdom or correction or right advice. The foolish person will not listen to right correction. They will not listen to it. And so I don't correct foolish people. I let them go their way and do what it is that they want to do. And I don't answer the door when they want me to clean it up. And so, yeah, I believe in learning the right way, the smart way. From my house to yours, may God bless you. And I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Learning to drive a motorhome. Learning to drive an RV motorhome. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, you know, I love to share little stories from my life, and here goes another one. This is when I learned to drive a motorhome. Well, years ago, we were living down in Texas, and I got the idea of buying a camper. I saw on like a parking lot an old camper for sale for about $3,000. It was kind of junky. So I said to my husband, I said, oh, I want this camper, because I always loved campers and motorhomes, even though I'd never had one. And so my husband went over and looked at it, and he said, no way are we going to buy that piece of junk. But anyhow, in the weeks that were to come, on the weekends, we would have fun. We would take our kids, put them in our 3-road expedition, and away we would go. And we would look at, campers. But then my husband said, no, you know what? I like an RV, a motorhome. And he likes campers. We liked campers too, but he likes to drive. And so we started looking at RVs. Well, he had never even been in one in his life. And before we knew it, we ended up driving to Houston on a Friday, and we bought this great big motorhome, and my husband had to drive it back about 5 hours away. And I am telling you, it was like a bus. It had a living room, a kitchen, a bathroom. It was beautiful. But he had never driven one before, and he was in Houston traffic on a Friday night with construction going on. And the kids and I were following behind him in the car, and I was just terrified. But he did amazing. He does amazing. It's so much. So anyhow, he got the motorhome home, and I had to go down to the DMV to get a license. At that time, if the motorhome was over a certain weight, you needed a truck driver license. So there I went down to the DMV with my 3 little kids at the time, and they were small, and they said they're so proper and so nice. Well, mommy took her test, and I have no idea how I passed it, but I did. It amazed me. I got my, what I call a truck driver license. So anyhow, well, it was kind of like where you can drive a large vehicle. And so it might not have been exactly a truck driver license, but it was some kind of license that let you drive a very large vehicle. And so my husband at that point began to teach me how to drive this motorhome. So we would take it out, and the kids, were all, buckled in so that they were safe. And we would go into the parking lot, and I would drive around the parking lot. And it was so funny because as I would drive around, I would jam on the brake and I would jerk it, and jam on the brake and jerk it. And that went on what seemed like forever. But gradually I learned to drive it, and I learned to drive it well. Well, we had that motorhome for about a year, and then we sold it and moved back to Georgia. And then for my 50th birthday, I wanted another motorhome. So I found the exact one I wanted. It had a bunk bedroom for the kids with little televisions. It had our bedroom. It had a living room. It had a kitchen. It was wonderful. So my husband bought it for me for my 50th birthday. And we just traveled the country. At that time, I primarily homeschooled. And so my kids were learning as we journeyed. And we went to 48 of the 50 states. And it was just amazing and wonderful. And my favorite trip was Route 66. And we went from one end of Route 66 all the way to the other. And ended up at Disneyland in California. And it was just wonderful, 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 wonderful time of my life. But during that trip, I remember my husband, he wanted to get some sleep. So he went in the back and he fell asleep, on the bed while I was driving. And so I was driving and I hit a curb. And when I hit the curb, all the dishes fell out of the cupboards onto the floor. And of course, that was actually in kind of a parking lot that I hit the curb, but nonetheless, I didn't make the turn big enough. And so I hit the curb, no damage or anything like that, but I hit the curb and it just knocked all the dishes out. So another time we were going down towards Hoover Dam, and there was all this construction, one lane for about 20 miles. And it was all downhill. So I was driving this big bus, as I called it, motorhome, and I drove about 10 miles an hour, very, very carefully, all the way down the hill because I was going to be safe. Safety was number one. When I got to the bottom of the hill, there was a huge string of cars behind me. And as they passed me one by one, some of them gave me some really dirty looks and some of them gave me a few gestures. But I didn't care because you know what? It was most important that we were safe. And so yeah, I loved having a motorhome. We've had amazing times. And then we sold it because our kids became teenagers and they had sports activities and things they wanted to do to stay close at home. And so we really weren't traveling much. And so we sold it. So I hope someday I get another motorhome. But yeah, I learned to drive that motorhome. And one of my big accomplishments in life. Another story from my life. May God bless you. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. Bye. Learning to say no before we learn to say yes. Learn to say no before you learn to say yes. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. One of the hardest words for people to say in the English dictionary, I believe, is the word no. No. I believe it's very important to learn to say the word no because there's so many things we need to learn to say no to in order to say yes to the right things. I love saying yes, but only to what's really, really right for my life. I don't want to clog up my life with a bunch of yeses and then find out I should have said no to a bunch of those things. Because when we don't say no to the wrong things for our lives, often we can become overwhelmed and we can become bogged down in things that are just not right for our lives. So many people say yes to everything and then they regret it. Before I say yes, I often say no. Or my best policy is to say, you know what? I'm going to think on it. And that people around me here a lot because I need time to digest the information. I need time to roll it around in my head. I need time to assimilate it. I need time to determine, is that right for me? Whether it's a small decision or a big decision. Sometimes we'll say yes to a small thing and it turns out to be a big thing, and then we've got our feet stuck in it and we can't get out of it. So I've just learned to say no more than I've learned to say yes, because I find that if I say yes to everything, then, or to a lot of things, that especially things that are not right for me, when a good yes moment comes along with something I really, really want, I can't do it because I've said yes to too many things. For example, let's say that everybody has a limited amount of money. And so let's say you say yes, 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 yes to everything. Then when something really, really great comes around, you don't have the money for it. You really don't. The same way with time. If you commit yourself and you spread yourself thin with too many yeses, what can happen is you can wear yourself out, exhaust yourself, and have no room in your life for the important things that do come around that you really, really want to say yes to. So often, I believe it's so important to learn to say no first before we say yes. Now, I'm not saying say no to somebody when we really should be saying yes. I'm saying make sure it should be a yes answer and not a no answer. And if you're not sure, my way of doing things is to simply say, I will think on it. And that gives me room, it gives me time, it gives me time to think about it and truly decide, is it right? You know, one of the things I learned many years ago is when you go out to buy something, especially a big ticket item, often there's a high pressure sales going on there. And not too long ago, I went out and this person, with the whole organization was very, very slick in their approach. They kind of led the horse to water. And so they didn't do the high pressure sales, they did the low pressure sales to get you to sign on the dotted line to get a yes from you. But I was smart enough to catch that. And I said, you know what? Let me think on it and I'll get back to you. And do you know, I found someone who was about a third of the price and even offered a better service. So I'm so glad I said no and not said yes, because once I would have said yes, I would have been committed. And then when I found a better service for a third of the price, I couldn't have used that other service. So I do believe in taking my time before I say yes to something, because a lot of times instead of a yes, we should be giving a no. And for so many people, they have such a hard time saying no. I don't know what the difficulty is about saying no. People around me know that I say no a lot more than I say yes. But when I do say yes, I'm totally committed to what it is that I want to do. Well, we are having a beautiful day out here today, and yes, we're having a tremendous amount of pollen. So Grandma's porch is mainly covered up, and I have to recover the couch again because the pollen will stain. It's like a greenish pollen. It will stain the couches. And a lot of people are sneezing just simply from the pollen. I don't have allergies, so it's not a big deal for me. But I love it. I love it. I love beautiful days. And so I hope you're all doing well and love you all much. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. Learning to thrive again. You can thrive again. Learning to thrive again. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, we are having an absolutely beautiful day today. I would say it's probably about 80 degrees, and I am getting ready to go for my 5-mile run, which is what I do each and every day. And I just love beautiful days like today. So it's just beautiful. I've been studying, I go to college and I'm 62 years old. And so I had a lot of homework. I have a lot of homework. It's continual. I love, love, love going to college. It's a big challenge for me. It really is a big challenge, but I love it. I love what I'm doing. And so last night I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Normally it's between 2 and 4 that I go to bed now with all my homework. And I baked cookies. So you can see over here that I baked some cookies. And I was up as a stress reliever. I said, you know what? I'm going to bake, and I'm going to bake. And so at 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, I was baking cookies. I have more to bake tonight because I still have some batter left over. Anyhow, it's my son's birthday, 20 years old. Yay! Happy birthday. And we're going to celebrate later today. But I want to get my workout in. I got a lot of homework, and then we're going to go celebrate. And so I wanted to jump on here and talk about being a thriver rather than just a survivor. A thriver, it's an attitude. Being a thriver is an attitude, and so is being a survivor. And there are times in life that we get knocked down and we feel like we can only survive. And I got that. I've been there in my life so many times. But I don't want to be labeled a survivor. I want to be labeled a thriver, even in those kinds of circumstances. Because if we start labeling ourselves as a survivor, then often we forego the thriver. And I don't want to do that. No matter what my circumstances have been in life, my challenges, I always was determined to get up, get out there, and make my life happen and become a thriver again. We can all get knocked down, whether it's through the loss of someone we love. My friend, she emailed me, she said, I want to be a thriver like you. And she had lost her mom after caring for her for a long time. And she was very close to her mom, the way I was with my mother. And I did a whole video on caregiving and the loss of a parent. And so grieving is an individual thing. Everybody is different. Some people grieve for a short time. Some people grieve for longer times, and some people grieve for a lifetime. I believe that when we've loved somebody, we are going to always be grieving at some level in our hearts because they're always in our hearts. That's my belief. Remember, this is just my opinion, my viewpoints on life, and I never give advice or suggestions or anything like that. And so, I believe that a person can be a survivor and a thriver at the same time. I believe a person can be knocked down and have challenges and obstacles, whether they lost their job, whether they lost a relationship, whether they're struggling, they can still be a thriver, because thriving is a mentality, it's a mindset. And I believe that we keep the mindset that we are going to thrive, even if we've been knocked down or even if we feel stuck. We have to make baby steps, big steps, any kind of step in the right direction, and do that each and every day. And I believe we build momentum. And when we become the thriver again, we hold on to that momentum the best we can. And if we get knocked down, we just go through the process again and get back up, get out there and make life happen. And thriving is an attitude. And, thrivers have challenges and difficulties and circumstances just like anybody else. And some people who thrive have actually had tremendously challenging circumstances, but they've learned to thrive anyhow, even with the circumstances that they have or had. And so for me, thriving is a lifestyle. I want to thrive. I want to be my best me. I just don't want to be stuck and, accept that and be okay with it. No, I want to get up, get out there and make life happen each and every day. And so my friend, she wanted me to do a video on this, and she will thrive because it's an attitude, a desire. You have to have the desire to thrive. And some people don't have that desire. They don't want that desire because it takes work, it takes effort, and it takes changing the way we think. So thriving is a lifestyle, and I believe in being a thriver and not a survivor. When I had my health crisis 10 years ago, people labeled me as a survivor. but I don't want to be labeled as a survivor. I labeled myself as a thriver, even in those circumstances. And of course, today I'm well and I'm out there running and doing all those good things. So remember, if you want to be a thriver, it's an attitude. Be patient with yourself. It's a journey, not a destination. And surround yourself with other thrivers, other people who have a positive attitude to make your life happen. And so, we all want to, I'm going to put on my glasses so I can see you better. And so, yes, we all want to thrive. Well, not everybody wants to thrive, but those of us that want to thrive, remember, it is an attitude. Thriving is an attitude, and you can make it happen. Be patient. It's a journey, not a destination, and enjoy the process and enjoy the journey and enjoy beautiful days like today. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. And have a cookie. Have a cookie over there. Maybe I can stick the cookie into the camera and you can gobble it up, okay? Anyhow, from my house to your house, God bless you. And I'm going for my run. Please subscribe and please tell your friends about my channel. And I hope to talk to you all soon. Leeches. People who leech off of other people. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking about people who are leeches off of each other. You know, some people just drain other people in every possible way imaginable. And I'm a firm believer in not allowing leeches in my life. You know, people can come in and they can leech for money. They can leech for your time. They can leech for your emotional energy. They can leech off of you in so many different ways. Before you know it, they've moved into your house. Now they're leeching off of you. They've made you feel guilty that they didn't have a place to live. And so now they're living inside your house, causing chaos and confusion. So if someone is a leech, I believe in identifying them as a leech and not allowing them in my life, at least not up close and personal, where they can affect my life in any way. I identify leeches. Often leeches will ask for a loan that they will never pay back. Often leeches ask for you to do them a favor that they could do themselves, and they have no intention of ever returning a favor to you. Leeches come in all shapes and sizes and to all different degrees. But one thing about a leech is a leech, whether it's a small leech or a big leech. And I don't want to be around leeches. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Rock on, give it all you've got, and let go and let God. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I've had a very busy day, busy, and a good day. And I'm in from my hour drive to and from college and carrying in my antique couch. So you'll have to go and look at that video, the one before this one. And now I'm heading for the gym to do my cardio burn workout and the rest of my workout. And then come home and do all my homework. So anyhow, what I wanted to talk about was give it all you've got each and every day in every way, whether it's for your dream, your goals, a problem, a challenge, a difficulty, a relationship, whatever it happens to be, give your very, very best. And I believe, and I'm going to tell you a little story in a moment, that when we've given everything we've got, we've done our very best for the right goals, the right dreams. Because if we have the wrong goals or wrong dreams, it's not going to work. And we often need to ask other people to help us, because sometimes solving a problem requires other people. Sometimes achieving a dream requires a lot of other people. But we have to ask for the right people, get the right information. Wrong information can lead us in a wrong direction. Wrong relationships can take us in a wrong direction. Wrong input, we don't want that. We want right input, right information. right ideas, so we have to be selective in who we ask for help from. But do ask for help, and most often people will help you. And I found that to be true. And even with all my college classes, and things are so very, very busy and chaotic, and I've got a lot going on with all these college classes, and yet I have wonderful teachers and advisors, and they help me, and it is so, so great. And so, hold on one second. Let me just click this off here. Just click that off. Sorry about that. And so basically, they help me because I ask for help. But if I hadn't asked, then they probably wouldn't have helped because they wouldn't have known I needed help. So people are really good as a whole that way. And so basically in my life, I've always done my very best, but sometimes I reached a point where I couldn't do anything else. And until I could, that is when I said to myself, it's time to let go and let God intervene and take over. I believe a lot of people just turn everything over to God. And when they turn it over to God and do no work themselves, I think sometimes in my mind, God kind of looks at them and say, hey, why should I do all the work when you need to do your part? So I believe once we've done our part 100%, we turn it over to God and we say, God, please help us, and let God intervene. Many, many years ago, and this is a little story from my life, I was 19 years old. I didn't have the money to go to nursing school. I just moved to California, and long story short, I met a lady who suggested I become a nurse's aide, and I didn't end up being a nurse's aide. I ended up going to nursing school, but lo and behold, during that time, she put that idea, she was kind of a divine connection who put that idea in my mind, and I never saw her again. So then I ended up applying at a nursing school, but I didn't have the money. I took the test though, and then they said, they came to me, they didn't come to me. Actually, I was out looking for a job, and I had gone to Newport Beach that morning to look for a job, but I was too young to work in most of the restaurants because they served alcohol and you had to be 21, and I wasn't. And so I came back home, and my mom was visiting me, and she said, you've got a phone call. Well, right before that, a couple days before that, I said, God, I give up. I turn it all over to you. I've taken the test. I've done everything. I would love to go to nursing school, but I can't afford it. It's in your hands. And I put it behind me. And I had done everything I could. Well, lo and behold, my mom got a phone call from the school, and they asked why I hadn't returned. My scores are really great. And my mom told them why. I couldn't afford it. And they said, send her up. We will get her on a program that will pay for her schooling, her books, and give her living expenses. And they did. They did. It was a miracle. But it was after I had done everything I could and then turned it over to God. So I believe in giving it our all, giving it our best towards the right goal, vision, dream, or trying to solve a problem that's ours to solve, that we're meant to solve. We're not meant to solve every problem. We're meant to solve certain problems that are designated, what I call designated our problem to solve, or to help someone that we're designated to help. And sometimes that does involve other people. And so whatever you are doing, whether it's a problem or whether it's a dream, a vision, a goal, and you've done the very best you can, that's the time to let go and let God. But I believe in giving it all you've got all along, even when you've turned it over to God. And if there's something more that you find out that you need to do, then do it to make those dreams happen for yourself. Okay, well, I'm on my way to the gym. I got to get out of here so I don't miss my class, and I hope to talk to you all soon. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel here, and I'll talk to you all soon. God bless you. Finding love, or letting love find you. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I'm a firm believer in letting love find us rather than us be out there searching. I remember the song Hungry Eyes, or Hungry Like a Wolf. And I think sometimes people go out there in the world hungry like a wolf with hungry eyes, and they're just desperately searching for love. And I believe it's the very same people that rarely, if ever, find love, because often love comes to us when we are being loving and kind and thoughtful out to the world. You know, I've always had love in my life, and romantic love seemed to find me along the way because I was being loving out to the world. You all know that story about my husband and I, and how I met my husband. I met my husband when I was very happy in my life. I had a career that I loved. Had a job that I loved. I was living where I loved. My life was really together. I wasn't out there being hungry and desperate to meet someone for someone else to solve my problems, because I solved them myself. And so I was in a happy state of mind, and I was out there living my very, very best life. I was a loving, caring person out to the world, and I hoped that perhaps the right person would enter my life, and if not, I was going to be happy anyhow, equally happy, because I think life is sometimes like living off a Chinese menu. You get A, B, C, or D to choose from in the menu, and they're all equal. They're all equally wonderful, whether you're single, married with children, or whatever. You know, you're just, it's what you make of life. And so I always made the good stuff in life, if at all possible. And so the night before I met my husband, I had been at work, and I went home, went to bed. The next morning I woke up and I just knew I was going to meet my husband. It was a spiritual knowing. I always say it was the Holy Spirit telling me that day that you know, I already could feel my husband's presence around me, even though I had never met him. And so that day I drove around and I went to Del Taco. I went to the gym. I felt the presence of this man around me, but it was nobody that was around me at that particular time. Although there were men around, it wasn't any of them. I knew it. So I went to work that evening, and I just knew I wasn't going to meet anybody that night, and I had a date afterwards. But while I was, hold on a second, let me just turn off the phone here for a quick second. And so basically what happened was I met my husband as he was coming in, and I was getting ready to leave work that evening, and I knew instantly it was him. And I just had that knowing that day. Well, we exchanged, he got my telephone number somehow, and the next morning he woke me up out of bed at 7 o'clock, and he said, you're going to be my wife. And we hadn't even talked but a couple minutes. And I said, I know, but call me back in 3 hours. I'm still sleeping. So, you know, he turned out to be my husband. And it was just a knowing. I knew. But and he's been a wonderful, amazing husband and a wonderful man. And I was blessed with him because I believe that I was blessing the world out with good stuff, good love and kindness and thoughtfulness. And I believe that often what we give out, we get back. And so I believe if you want to find love, you don't have to find it. It will find you when you are being loving and caring and giving and kind out to the world. And I believe that making the most of your life, whether you're single, whether you're married, no matter what, make the very most. Be happy with where you are while you hope or wish for what you will someday have. And that's kind of how I did it. I always hoped that I'd meet the right person, but I was very happy either way, being a single person. And now I've been married nearly 30 years, okay? Happily married. May God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. From my house to yours, talk to you then. Bye-bye. Let others know how much you love them. Letting others know that we love them. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brianne. I got to thinking today about how important it is to let other people know that we care. You know, so often people feel like it's taking something from them to let other people know that they care. Sometimes they feel like, well, if I let people know how much I care, that will weaken my position, or it may obligate me to something that I don't want to be obligated to. Well, you know, I'm a firm believer in letting people know that I love them and that I care about them. I never let any of my family members leave the house without saying, hey, I love you. I love you. I'll see you in a little bit, and I always, always do. I always let my family members know how much I care about them and how much I appreciate them. My son is out there right now. My two sons are out there picking up pine cones. And of course, it's a way for them to earn a little extra money. And we have a lot of pine cones that come down in our yard because we have a lot of pine trees. And I always say, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being so wonderful and amazing. My kids are thoughtful. They're thoughtful to us and to me. And we're thoughtful to them. And, I believe in being thoughtful to the people that we love. When my husband comes home, I don't sit there behind the computer and say, hey, I get up and say, hey, honey, hi, I'm glad to see you. We've been married almost 30 years. And I still let him know each time he comes in the door that I appreciate him. And he brings me a cup of coffee in the morning before he leaves for work. Now, I'm not even awake yet, but he comes in and I know he's coming in there. He gives me a kiss and he brings me a cup of coffee and he sets it by my bedside. Now, of course, by the time I wake up, it's cold. But you know what? I drink it anyhow because it tastes so good because I know that he thought of me and he brought it in. And whenever he's traveling, I miss that cup of coffee, that cold cup of coffee. And so he lets me know in little ways that he loves and cares about me. But he also tells me that he loves me. And we tell our kids that we love them. And they tell us that they love us. And whenever my kids go somewhere, they're always calling on the phone. Often I'll be doing the videos and the phone won't ring. And it's one of my kids just to say, hey, Mom, what's up? And so that's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. And I cherish each one of those phone calls, even though two of my kids live at home and one, she lives real close by. She has her own apartment now, but they call me. They call me even when they go out for 15, 20 minutes or whatever. And they call my husband too. We really, really let each other all know how much we care. So don't let someone not know how much you care. It is important. And, for me, well, if I let one of my friends know, hey, I really care about your friendship, I really cherish our friendship. I have one of my best friends, and every time before we get off the phone, we always say how much we cherish our friendship. And I let her know, and she lets me know. And I do that with my friends. I do that with my family members, or even like if we have coworkers that are really doing a great job in the appropriate way, I would say, hey, you're doing a great job, and I really appreciate you. Gosh, I let people know who come to my channel and make a comment. I let them know I appreciate them. I thank them. And so let other people know how much you care. Let other people know how much you love them. And, just be kind and be thoughtful and be loving. From my house to yours, may God bless y'all. And I'll talk to y'all soon again. Bye-bye. Let people see you as a real person. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I got to thinking about people's images that they project out to the world and who the person really is. And sometimes those images match and sometimes they don't match, or they match to only a certain degree. And I try to project as close to who I am out to the world. No, I don't believe that we need to talk about every personal detail in our lives. I think that's a foolish person who does that. But I think we can share some personal things about our lives that are selective. And so for me, I am not an open book, but I'm a book that can be well read if you take the time. And so I like to share. I really, really do bits and pieces from my life. I usually don't share things when it involves other people. I just share, my perspective on life or maybe what's happening with me. And yet, recently I stubbed my toe. You all know that story over and over now. My toe got better, my foot got better. I stubbed it in the middle of the night on a piece of furniture. But then somehow some kind of infection set in there when I had like the little, cut that you get when you bump into something. And so now I'm on antibiotics, and hopefully I will be well within a day or so. And I'm feeling well now, so I'm feeling much better. Yesterday was not a good day. Let me tell you, I spent the day in bed after the doctors. And so I'm taking these high-powered antibiotics, and they kind of zap you out a little bit, but nonetheless, I'm so thankful for them. And I am always, taking care of my health and proactive with my health. But that was kind of one of those suddenlies, those things that just, happen that you didn't expect. But anyhow, I got to thinking about how that applies to letting people see you as a real person. Now, I could come on here and not tell you about that. I could say, oh, everything is just perfect. But instead, I came on and told you I had a rough day yesterday, not feeling well, stayed in bed on antibiotics. And I was, very concerned because I wanted to make sure that we contained whatever was going on with me. And so I was very smart to go to the doctors when I did. And I normally don't go to doctors. I hadn't been to one in 3 years because, I take such wonderful care of myself. And, but, I'm human just like you. And I have problems just like you. And I want you all to know I want to be relatable. And so I share, some of my life with you. And because we're all just people, we're all real. We all have issues. We all have struggles. We all have challenges. We all have blessings. We all have family members that are, a little off the chain. At least most of us do, I think. We all have jobs that, can have ups and downs to it. We all get flat tires on our car at some point in time, usually. Hopefully not anywhere near. Hopefully no time soon. And, so we all have our own challenges and things that go on. And so sometimes I come on here and I share those. And I hope that makes me more real and not just an image that I am projecting, but a real person behind that image. We all have an image, and an image can be good. It is good usually. And yet I also want people to see the real person behind the image. And so I share with you. I share with you so much of my life. And I think when we share the right things with other people, and like I said, we should not share everything with everyone. Only a foolish person shares everything with everyone, in my opinion. But some selected things I think we can share that so people can feel that sense of being relatable to each other, and people feel connected sometimes through your own struggles, your own story. I often say our stories will set us free. Not everyone deserves our story, but the right people, it can help, it can heal, and it can also help and heal us as well when we share our stories. And if we're fully healed and fully helped, often we can help someone else through our story or our struggle or our difficulty. And, we never know what life is going to bring, and we hope and pray it brings only great stuff in our lives. And yet, if there's a challenge along the way, I believe that sometimes in sharing that in the right way can really help other people as well, and also endear them to us. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Let yourself shine. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I got to thinking about letting yourself shine. I believe that most people are a bit hesitant and a bit shy when the spotlight is put on them in a good way. But for me, I love to shine, and I love others to shine as well. So sometimes I'm putting the spotlight on other people, and sometimes other people are putting the spotlight on me. It could be our birthday, and we're out to lunch with friends or family, and all of a sudden the waiters come over with the cake and they start singing happy birthday, and most people get so embarrassed. But you know what? When that happens to me, I love it. I love it. It's my birthday. I want to shine. It's my turn. The same way for others. When others get their turn to shine, I love shining the light on them. A lot of people, though, are uncomfortable with the light shown on them. They'd rather it be shown on someone else. It could be that they've been called up to the front to be given an award, and they feel like, oh my gosh, my clothes aren't right, I don't look right, I'm too heavy, I'm too thin, my hair's out of place, whatever. I don't worry about those things because I know I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to give the image that I'm perfect. And I know other people aren't perfect. We're all imperfectly beautiful. We're all imperfectly perfect, and or perfectly imperfect, whichever way you want to look at it. And that's good. That's good. And so I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with the light being shined upon me, and I'm comfortable shining the light upon others. And, you know, we get that opportunity, and we should welcome that opportunity for others to see the greatness in who we are. And I hope others welcome the opportunity to have the light shined upon them to show their greatness, because we all have great attributes about us, and we're all worth celebrating. And so, you know, like I said, a lot of people are very hesitant about it. You know, they feel embarrassed. They feel like, oh my gosh, the whole room is looking at me, and, you know, I'm not comfortable with this. But I believe in being comfortable. I believe in welcoming that light shined upon us, and to really savor that moment, because it's our moment. You know, even here on YouTube, sometimes people will point out each other's channels, and I love that. I love that. And, you know, not everybody is going to approve of us. Not everybody is going to be excited for us, and that's okay. That's okay. But I think the majority of people will, especially people that love and care about you, will be excited for you. They'll applaud you. They know your imperfections most likely, and they don't care. You know, they love you. So love yourself and let yourself shine, and be comfortable with it. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. And I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye-bye.